Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we are finally taking a look at Natasha Denona's newest palette, the Retro. You've heard all about it. I've heard a lot of complaining about it. And here it is. Now Zendo was a mini, which, can you believe it? I got so many palettes out here for comparison. I didn't get the mini, but there was a lot of complaining because the mini was more of a antique pink and greenish gray, and this is neither. So let's do first things first. By the way, I will do timestamps if you just want to get to the application, but I'm going to do some swatching, I'm going to do some comparisons, and I'm going to speak right now about what Natasha Denona is saying. She's one of the only makeup artist brands that I know of, the only, which isn't to say that maybe I'm wrong, but I went to Instagram and she had a video where she said she was hearing a lot of noise from social media, and I've never heard anyone actually talk about us, you know, the people who buy the stuff. We largely love the stuff. We represent people who buy makeup, and we are people who buy makeup. And I've never heard anybody address the criticism that they're receiving, and I so much appreciate it. And she said she's been hearing a lot of stuff about this one, and she wanted to let everybody know that there's more to come when it comes to retro, which sounds to me like there's another palette, and that she produced this not really based off of the mini, but based off of the Glam palette, and she wanted it to kind of be a sister. And you know what? I think she did. I also heard a ton of people saying it's just like the Anastasia palette. No, it's not. It's nothing like it. It wasn't online, and it is not in person. If you think these are the same, you might be colorblind, because there's nothing similar here. Nothing. There's so much more vibrancy in the Anastasia. There's more browns in the Anastasia. Like this one shade right here is kind of the same color as this package. That's it. It's nothing like this palette, and I think it will be much more usable than this palette. The palette that I thought, oh, I might already have this, is something I haven't heard anybody talk about, and that is the new nudes from Huda Beauty. Look at that. I thought, I may already have this. And this is what they look like together. The tones are kind of different. This is the first time I put them side to side. The depth of tone is a little different. But remember, this background is different than this background. So there could be some similarities here, but I would say they're just not quite the same thing. There are two colors in this palette that exist in the now discontinued Lila palette, and that is Amara and Helio right here, and in the Lila palette they are right here and here. When she said she was taking some colors from the Lila palette, I was kind of hoping that it would be my favorite, this and this and this and this, because these are so wonderful and so perfect for so many skin tones, but alas, no. Hopefully they'll show up somewhere else. And now, you guys, let's get into a little bit of swatching. I'm going to turn the air on. Alright, now I'm going to start swatching here. If you want me to do comparison swatches in another video with the palettes that I took out here, let me know, and I will, but it takes a long time to do that. And yeah, let's get into this. If you're new here, when it comes to bigger palettes, I don't like to swatch all the way across. Everybody does that. We've seen it before, and you could get that any number of places. But what I like to do is swatch them by color group so I can see what's repetitive and what's not, and if there's more going on here than I think there is. One thing that concerned me when I saw this was I thought this is a one-note palette. There's one colorway. That's it, making a larger palette kind of a problem for me. But there's not. There are actually 3 little colorways here, some of them smaller than others. So we have taupees right here, We have some warmish colors right here, excluding this one, this row and this row. Then we have the more cooler, the mauve, berries. These two look like they're the same, but they are not. Another in the mauve group. So I'm going to swatch these by color group. Now I did swatch last night, but I didn't take notes. It was quite organic, and this is going to be pretty organic too. I'm just going to dig in what I think is in the color story, color family, and we might be surprised. I've taken my watch off, so I'm fully prepared. And I'm first going to go here, here, and here. So as you can see, these are pinker colors, but there is a really pretty warmth to these three colors, and I do think they are in the same color family. Then I'm going to go ahead and add Helio in there because I think it's intended to be there. And this one, which is in that group, but I believe it's a little cooler. Ooh, but these two really pretty together, as I suspected. So this one is in this group for tension because it's not the same. It's going to, when there's tension between colors, it makes each one look better. Complementary is a little bit different. But these two both a little bit cool. You can barely see that one on my skin tone. I'm going for the easy ones first, you guys. I Wonder, this taupe, this, and this. So here's a little taupey story, and I think that taupe story would go good with those last two swatches I did. There we go, taupey story. So Helio, Vivian, and then those three that you just saw me pick up. So definitely two color stories right here. Kind of a warmish, not really cranberries, but warmish. This is definitely cool. Now let's try some pinks. This one, ooh, this is so creamy. This one strikes me as pink, and this one strikes me as pink. And I am right. There they are right here. So this one is quite light. You could use it for blending something out. Use it for the brow bone. If you have dark skin, you're probably not going to use it at all, but it's good for blending something else. So if you wanted to take one of these deeper colors and make them more pastel, you can just dip into this one and make your own mix. Now this one seems kind of all by itself because to me it looks like a grape, but I'm going to do this one, and this one. So the two colors that I thought were very similar to each other are not. This one is quite more vibrant, and that is the one on the bottom row, Rebellion, Groove, and Swing. So really, I see there could be 4 color stories in here, you know, if you add those pinks in, but I'm thinking 3 major color stories. Mirror is here, and let's get into it. I am first going to do a warmish eye over here, and I am going in with the shade right here. And I'm going to pull taut. See my video about game changers. I spoke about this when you're crepey, just doing a little pulling. Just making everything taut when you're applying your makeup makes a world of difference. This shade is hardly showing up on me. It's pretty close to my skin tone. Go. And this is a Chikuhodo brush, and I'm just doing transition with this. Very light. Around the orbital bone, I can feel the eyeball. And if I had a crease, this is where my crease would be. And pulling it up and out just a little bit with whatever is left. Ooh, I could pluck right around here. Very, very soft fade here. And then I look in this mirror just to see that I'm getting the effect that I want, which is just pushing my hood back a little bit, and boom. Actually, if you wanted a very simple, pretty look, this would be it. Just do a little bit of liner for me, a little tight line, a little mascara, and it's very sweet, not too sweet. It's very soft. My Kitco brush with Amara. So this is for deepening up something that you don't have to do. I'm just feeling my orbital bone here because I'm hooded, it is a little tough. And then I want it around my lash line. And whatever's left, I'm bringing inside. And open the eye and make sure that it is something you can see when the eye is open, and it is. Now again, you could stop right here, or you could add a little bit. So this might be more of a daily look. I'm going to go a little bit swinging up here. And that helps to lift the eye up, and it's suddenly more dramatic just with this little thing right here. Again, I could stop here, 100%. And again, do a little lining, do a little mascara, and I'd be done. But Refer 03 with Cocoa. I can't help but wonder if this was named after the whiskey A Go-Go, which is a very famous club here in Los Angeles on the Sunset Strip. It's been around for decades. I used to go there a lot, actually. And you know, every music genre played there when that genre was big. There was punk there was basic rock and roll, there was new wave. It was all at the whiskey. Now if I want to soften this up just a little bit, which I kind of don't, and when you look closely, it looks very diffused. It doesn't look like, hey, it needs blending. This is such an easy palette, or the formulas are very easy, or my new way of going about things with this mirror just makes it so easy. I also primed my eyes today, which I often don't do. I use the Clay Depot concealer, this one with a little bit of powder, and this is the best eyeshadow primer I have ever used, ever. I haven't used them all, but most of them are sticky, or I can't even say what. This one is fantastic. Just a little bit, powder it a little bit, and you are ready to go. I love the shape that I got. I love the look that I got. I am perfectly happy keeping it just like this, but I know a lot of people want to put some shimmer, some metallic on their eyes, and we're in this group here. So if we did this, this, and this square, it's kind of it, right? I hate doing this with my fingers, you guys, because I'm the queen of fat fingers. This is my Kitco 1.5. And I don't want to go crazy with it. I'm not going to get it wet. I'm not going to do inner corner. It's just a little something to show you how this square looks. Now I'm going to do some mascara and a little tight lining up here for the final look on this side. I'm going to do another look on this side, different lips, the whole thing. Alright, I did a little bit of blush. I used the Chaleur from Sept, and then I used Parfait right here, also from Sept, a little bit peachy. And on the lip is the new Bite Soft Matte in Sesame, which is a very nice neutral for me. So I tried to pull out the warm tones in this, even though it is decidedly berry-ish, with my blush and my lip and half my face right there. Now for my second look, I could absolutely do the taupey things, but we have seen taupey eyes on me before. Most definitely, I love it so much, and it does remind me a lot of the Glam palette. So I'm going to go for it in the berry zone. And I'm starting nude mauve and do the stretch. And this is the Gucci Westman brush again, just using the other side, and I'm kind of buffing it in since I've seen some separation here. And I'm not going to take it too high, but I'm going to bring it a little bit higher. I'm just going to buff this out a little bit. This is a Sonia G brush from the Sky set. And again, the buffing is so much easier when you just pull a little bit and get out of the crepey zone. Okay, When I did this last night, I used this shade Andy, and I was thinking, oh, well, this one looks lighter, so I'm going to do that. Well, the Andy is actually lighter, so I'm just going to turn this to the other side and pick up Andy. There. My Kitco with Groove. And I'm doing the very same application I did over here, which is I'm going in with a darker color and feeling out my orbital bone. Harder on this side because of the fat pad. Well, it's not the fat pad, it's my tear duct gland. And I'm going light at first, and then we'll buff this in. And with this mirror, which I think is about 5x, or maybe even an 8x, I can really see if I'm blended or not. Now, just as I did here, I could leave it here, but I am going to give it a little bit more of a wing. I wasn't able to do just exactly the same thing because I couldn't be too precise with this brush. Even though it's small, it kind of went to a zone I didn't want it to go to. I'm just going to use the tip again and soften up the edge. I'm going back in with Andy with this brush again, and I want to diffuse the edge a little bit. And at the same time, I'm bringing it a little bit higher so you can see how it is receding the hood. So this shade over the darker shade kind of took the darkness away a little bit, muddied it up a teeny bit, but not the end of the world. Refer 03 with this shade, which I think is a part. I'm not 100% sure because I'm blind. And I'm going to use this as a liner right by the lash line. Again, I could have stopped at any point. A very soft look to a day look to a drama look, an evening look, and go without a metallic, but I'm here to please. I know a lot of people like them, and there's some in here. One thing I love about this palette is there's a lot of mattes. I love the ratio. So our choices are this one or this one, and I don't know, you guys. I mean, this one would brighten everything up, and this one would deepen everything up. Maybe I'm just going to go for a full-on deep look, and I'm going to do this one. It's very pretty, though. It's kind of a grapey color. And now I'm going to do blush and lip for this side, and we can see, you know, a warm to cool look. Back in a flash. All right, I have done my brows, I've done mascara and curling and lining, and for the lining, I'll put everything below, but it's the Chanel Stilo in maroon. For my lip, I did a Dior, a pink on this side instead of something, I could have done something more red, certainly, and I could have done a nude, but I didn't want to do a nude because this coloring is so cool. I thought a nude would have taken it over the edge, and this could look nudish with this, so that's what I did. I did the same Chaleur, you know, I used it as a bronzer and a blush, but I used the blush more around the cheekbones since this is more evening to me, and then I went with Pat McGrath Flirtatious just a little bit here because it is more of a cooler blush. And yeah, I'll list everything down below, but you guys, this is two looks. Warm-ish and a cool-ish, definitely cool. So there's looks, right? But how do they work? They work like magic. Now I have had problems with some of her formulas, the Metropolis palette especially. I love the colors, but I had so many problems. That palette made me cry. I returned it, and then I bought it again, and I think I did that twice. And now that I have some better brushes, some more brushes, maybe I'm going to do another Metropolis look for fall, maybe a couple, because they're great for fall, those colors. But I had not a single problem. I try to keep, when I'm doing these kinds of videos, I try to keep all the footage. I don't do swipe, 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 and then cut and go, it's great. I want you to see how it works, and that's why I go in close, and that's why I speed things up so the videos aren't too long. But I think these work wonderfully. I think they are absolutely one of my big concerns. A couple of color stories in here, as I demonstrated, when I swatched in groups, 100%. This eye is this group. This eye is this group. Then we have pinks, and we have all these taupees to work with as well. And I can totally see how this could be a sister palette to the Glam. But at the same time, we have taupees in here. It kind of is the Glam and some pinks as well. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I love it, 100%. These are two looks that I applied the exact same formation, but there are different ways to go. I could go in with this color, which is more red, and do just a haze with a nice little, like my Chikuhodo blending brush, and just have that with maybe something a little bit darker over here. There's different color stories, of course, and different applications. I think it's versatile enough. I think the powders work very, very well. Oh, and you guys, that's it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe, be smart, and I'm wishing you good health.